Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is Jason, Certified Financial Planner, host of Fighting Words Financial. And today I wanted to put out a quick video before market opens on Monday here, just to talk a little bit about Lordstown Motors and what's going on. A lot of you folks out there may be interested to know what's going on with all these allegations that are swirling around. And now the fact that the Justice Department has gotten involved in all of these probes with the SEC and, of course, all of these lawsuits, it looks like this is gaining a lot more momentum, and it's going to be quite serious. So let's talk about a little bit about what the allegations are. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to bore you. And I'm going to talk to you about why this may actually spell the end for Lordstown Motors, and they really only have a narrow pathway out of this, all right? So let's talk about the allegations first. The allegations are very simple. Lordstown Motors basically claimed that they had 100,000 binding orders or more. The number changed based on whatever press conference or press release that you saw. But it was somewhere around $100,000 of binding orders that they claimed they had. They were called out on that. They were asked to offer some proof of that. And then they ended up backing away from that statement. And they did a pretty hard back away from that statement too. So this does not mean that the entire company is a fraud. It doesn't mean that. It just means that they made some misleading statements. Who knows why they did that? Who knows who exactly authorized those statements? It's not really important. What's important is that the damage to this project is already done. And I have to say that's really a shame. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Ford F-150 is essentially the best-selling vehicle in the United States. It has been for something like 40 years, and it's not even really close, right? So the idea of electrifying transportation in the United States has to include a pickup truck that's electrified. And I'm very much looking forward to the Cybertruck coming out. In fact, that's the vehicle that I'll probably end up purchasing. But I know that many people won't purchase that Cybertruck simply because it doesn't look like a truck. And many people are going to purchase something like a Rivian truck. Maybe they wanted something like a Lordstown truck or many of the other imitators that are coming out there right now. So I think there was this giant potential for Lordstown being pretty early on the scene to steal away a lot of that market share from the F-150 and to possibly be a real player in electrified pickup trucks. I think that's pretty much done at this point for one really, really big reason. Because they're such a small company right now, they're really dependent on following the Tesla playbook, which is finding big investors to rescue them, going to capital markets with secondary offerings, and offering convertible debt, right? And offering bonds, essentially. So they are no longer going to have access to basically to financial markets at this time, to public capital. They're not going to be able to do a secondary offering right now. They probably have a very hard time finding someone who would be willing to underwrite that. They could. There are a few avenues for them to do a direct offering without having an underwriter, but that's still going to be pretty difficult as well. And there's no one who's going to underwrite a bond issue for this company at this point. So their narrow pathway for success right now is really they need to either find money from private equity, or they're going to have to find some wealthy individual who's willing to give them an injection of cash when they look like they're in trouble. Now, this sort of scenario is not unprecedented. If you look at what happened with SpaceX and with Tesla, Peter Thiel swooped in and rescued both SpaceX and Tesla with huge injections of cash at one point to Elon Musk, and we all see how that turned out. Now, this is not the same type of situation, folks. It just simply isn't the same type of situation. So I'm really wondering at this point if that narrow pathway for success for Lordstown Motors even exists. Even though I don't think that the allegations against them, well, they're very serious, but I don't think it means the whole company is a fraud. I think it's very sad. This town in Ohio put a lot of their public money behind this project. They're really hoping that it's going to rescue this town. Anyway, folks, these are just my quick thoughts on what I think is a real tragedy brought on by themselves, of course, by Lordstown Motors. I really think it's a shame that this town in Ohio that was really behind this project, put a lot of public money behind it, had a lot of people really excited about going to work into that factory. I think it's really sad that this company is now staring down the barrel of bankruptcy. And it looks like, unlike what happened with Nikola last year, because they had the support of some big names in the auto industry, it looks like Lordstown's probably not going to be able to generate that same sort of support. I really don't see them as having a viable pathway through that, that narrow pathway that I described before with private equity or individual wealthy donors or wealthy investors. I don't see that really as a pathway for them ahead for a variety of different reasons. Anyway, folks, give me your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think is going to happen to them in the next couple of months. Are they going to survive, or are they going to crash and burn? Thank you very much, folks. I'll see you next time.